course, winning 2-0. Salah there with the goal and assist. Arsenal beating us lot, Burnley 3-1. And then Everton result. Aubameyang, double-digit score. Now, for anybody that watches our preview, they'll know about our history statistics that I put up with it. And people, you must listen to what we are saying, because, again, this week, the history has come up trumps regarding captaincy choices and results in general. For example, the history was suggesting that Aubameyang will have a good game. Guess what? He did yesterday. Same with KANE versus Everton. Okay, but we'll get into that in a minute. Bournemouth 2-0. And of course, the player that I got rid of 3 weeks ago for a 12-point hit, David Brooks, scores twice. Just like, what on earth? And I know Dan will come to his team in a minute, had him in his team. And funnily enough, actually, we'll go into that in a minute. We'll just continue in the fixtures. Chelsea losing 1-0. That was the first shock of the first kind of thinking what's going on today. Huddersfield losing 3-1 to Southampton. Again, regarding the history, if a team wins in this fixture, it would have been through a heavy result. Southampton winning 3-1, and a popular transfer pick this week, Danny Ings coming in with a penalty. And now, of course, the next game, Manchester City losing 3-2 to Crystal Palace. Jason, what did this make you think about your City assets moving forward? Or do you just think this is just a freak result? Because I've got highlighted here Kevin De Bruyne.
Right, well, let's just start with the Kevin De Bruyne goal, which was an obvious fluke. It was no intention to shoot. But City were pretty dominant that game, and obviously Palace were very good on the counter-attack. And normally City are very susceptible to the counter-attack, but they tend to defend or push them to push the attackers out wide and recover quite quickly. And Ederson seems to just concede at home. There's something going on there. And I mean, Pete Smith, a friend of mine, I was over at Pete's house watching the game, and before the game started, he was like, "Oh yeah, Ederson conceded a goal at home or something every home game," and I just was like, "Well, I wouldn't mind that much, because I don't have Ederson, I don't have Laporte, but obviously I do have the midfielders, so I don't mind necessarily if they concede a goal, because it wipes off rival clean sheet points." But yeah, it was a really weird game week because we were watching it, and the goals were coming in like quite slowly. I think after 27 minutes there was only one goal or something like that, and the goal scorers that started coming in through the game week were not any FPL assets that we owned. And then I was watching, obviously I was watching the Man City game, and I was thinking, Crystal Palace, they've worked out Man City, they've worked them out, and they were breaking down the attacks. They were really doing the hard press. They had pace on the counter attack with Zaha, which played absolutely out of his skin, holding up the ball, laying it off, and yeah, I just couldn't believe what I was watching. And I just was watching Sterling's points just trickle away. And I was saying at the end of the day, I said, "You watch, you know what's going to happen now." Now that's happened. Tomorrow night, tonight, sorry, you're going to have... Oh, sorry, tomorrow is going to be the Spurs game tomorrow. It's the only game tomorrow. And Harry Kane is going to do something. He's going to score big. Because it just seems to always happen. And again, I've fallen foul of it. And I said I don't hide behind the sofa anymore about Harry Kane. But tonight, I don't think I got out from behind the sofa. So, yeah, God. The only saving grace is I did have Son in. But we're going to talk about the Everton-Spurs game anyway. But Man City are just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing, that game. Well done to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Newcastle drawing 0-0 with Fulham. West Ham. This was a bit of a surprise to me. Being Could I just say that Newcastle drawing at Fulham. Fulham kept a clean sheet. I mean... Well, it's just unbelievable. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I keep banging on about the history, but just people listen to this. I saw that game, and Mitrovic should have had a penalty from that handball, and it could have. It didn't. I know it didn't. Could have ended 1-0. Well, the history was saying there's been 4 1-0 victories within the last 6 fixtures in this game. Could have ended 1-0, going in the right way of the history is crazy. The next game, West Ham versus Watford, you're thinking this is going to be goals galore here. Well, when Watford have won, they've won by a 2-goal deficit. And within this fixture, there has been 3 2-0 results in the last 6. And now this is the 4th out of 7 2-0 results. And of course, me and Dan were talking about him last week, Deulofeu and Pereira. Pereira! Where does he come from? Just randomly comes out of the blue. It's like he blanks. I was looking at it recently. He got 2 assists, then he blanks, and he just got 2 assists yesterday.
It's frustrating to own. It's frustrating to own in a sense because you don't know what Pereira is going to step out on the field, and he's an absolute class act to watch. And again, it goes against the logic of the history. The history's great, but on paper, West Ham were the favourites in that game, and especially in terms of the form, recent form, their run that they were on, the way they were playing, I was pretty convinced that they would score and outscore Watford. And, it just goes to show that football has a great way of repeating itself. And like you said, the history does show that Watford have won by 2-goal margin on 3 occasions, now 4 occasions out of 7.
What really infuriated me was originally my team had Kika Firmino in my starting 11 instead of Richarlison. Now, if I'd have done that, kept that, I'd have been up by 1 point. Unbelievably, Richarlison getting the assist. But now then, on to your team, Dan. Now, this is going to be probably one of the bigger talking points, probably in the chat room. But Man United 5-1 winners, and my Lindelof. People laugh. Okay, I know he didn't keep a clean sheet, but for me, when I was watching final score, and at 4:32 in the afternoon, and it came through the team news that Lindelof was starting, I was just like, the genuine relief. What everybody was saying in the chat was, you're an idiot for bringing him in. Yeah. And then when I was watching the match of the day highlights, I hear that, I was watching it, and Lindelof put a Lingard through, I think, or a Rashford, I can't remember who, and I was thinking, and he missed almost a sitter. I'm thinking, I could have got an assist. I didn't, but talking points out of this game, Lingard getting 2 goals, Martial, Rashford. Now, there were 2 players, there were all 3 of them I'm seriously considering getting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the 3. So, yeah, Jason, what did you think of the performance yesterday as a United fan?
Absolutely loved it. United have instantly got a spring in their step. They seem to be enjoying football again under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and just the mood just seems to be completely it's like the old mood of like negativity just seems to be lifted now, like a shroud that's just gone. And I honestly think that if you look at the statistics, people are transferring in Rashford, Lingard, Martial like crazy. I think yesterday, even Lukaku was being transferred in en masse. So even though he's not going to be playing the next couple of games, which is kind of weird. So yeah, it's between me. Well, for my opinion, it's between Rashford, Lingard, and Martial. I've always liked Martial over Lingard myself. I like what he provides and what he offers, but definitely Rashford should be nailed on up front now, you'd think, with Lukaku being out. We got people in chat talking about filling up with Man United next. Michael Svedin, I think there's going to be a lot of people bringing in Man United assets, especially with the prices. The prices are an absolute bargain for United at the moment. Lindelof was brilliant. I'm looking for... Steve-O, Clement Leroux's actually saying to you, Steve-O, that Lindelof was brilliant. I'm looking to transfer him in. Don't forget, guys, it was Cardiff and it was only 1 game week. Let's not overreact. But it is a good sign that United may have turned the corner and may be great going forward, FPL-wise. Yes, Steve-O, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, for me, yeah, we've all got hindsight now, but I wish I'd brought in Luke Shaw. It was just the fact that he was yellow carded. He was yellow flagged. I've just thought I need to get someone in that's guaranteed to start. And Lindelof was just the second cheapest defensive asset to buy. And even when I did the transfer, I even re-listened to the podcast and hearing people basically just laughing at me saying, why bring in Lindelof, blah, blah, blah. And even yourself, no, don't bring him in. You should have gone with anybody but. Yeah, now in hindsight, I wish I brought in Shaw. But we'll just quickly finish off the fixtures with of course, today's game, 6-2 to Spurs. My game week yesterday, I just thought, do you know what? Dan talks a lot to me privately about how he feels that he should be doing a podcast. He feels he should be doing better in the game because his rank is so bad.
Yeah.
And I feel psychologically it's the same for me as well. Even though we're not, I clarify this, we are not a tip site. We're just three blokes that love fantasy football, that love talking about it. We love talking to other people about it too. And I was just like, my game week and overall rank has been just dropping and dropping. And it is, I just feel, I'm sure people there listening in the chat are just thinking, I know how you're feeling. You just think, I can't be bothered with this game anymore. I'm just going to take hits for the sake of hits and everything. And then along comes Spurs. I was chatting to my housemate downstairs for 2 hours. And I come up here getting prepared for the podcast. And I clicked on live score and I'm like, oh, hello? What on earth is going on? And of course, I clicked to see who scored the goals. And I'm like, oh, Kane's only got one. Right, he's not doing it for me whatsoever. Son getting me 2. And then, of course, it pops up with 6-2. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've got to find out who scored. It was Kane. But Charleston getting an assist in there as well. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, Jason, let's look at let's bring up our league.
Let's bring it up. All right. So at the moment, the gaps in the top 4 are just decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Obviously, the game hasn't taken into account substitutes, anything like that. But yeah, as it stands, we've got Ben Towler for United, who's third, who's going to be in second, and he's had an absolute monster of a week. He's got 79 points. Son, Kane, yeah, we go from top to bottom.
Let's look at your team first.
Do we have to look at my team?
Yes, we do.
All right, okay. So my team, so my back 3. I'll start with Fabianski. So Fabianski, as we know, conceded 2 goals to Watford. He did get a save point, which is a slight consolation. So he ended up a massive haul of 2. Trent Alexander-Arnold was a hopeful that never started. He was never going to start. I had Cedric, who again was a hopeful, didn't start. And then we had Lucas Digne, who, returned a whopping -1 point. So actually, I ended my whole back 4 returned me 1 point. So far, I know. Yeah. Okay. So that's my starting player. So, and then I've got Wan-Bissaka with 1 point and Target coming on with 2. So my back 4 did overall return me 4 points. So 1 point per player, which is very bad. My captain decision was Sterling this week, as I mentioned earlier on, and it came back with 4 points. Sane was a disappointing 2 points. Son was the absolute godsend for me. It's probably recovered a lot of my points that I've lost, and that's 21 points with him, with the bonus. Anyone that captained Son, if anyone in chat's captained him, my hat's off to you, my friends, because that is an absolute baller decision. Salah with the 12 points, and then that's, other than Aubameyang, we've got Wilson with 2 points, Chicharito with 2 points. So the bulk of my points coming from three players: Aubameyang, Salah, and Son. The rest of them,
when Salah got his double figure on Friday night, you must have been rubbing your hands with glee, thinking he's a differential within our mini league. You must have been thinking, right, let's just push on now. I'm doing really well in the overall ranking.
I was in a really good mood. Friday night, going into Saturday, I was thinking, you know what? This game week is going to be the game week where I do well, and I'm really happy with my decisions, and everything's going to prove to be good decisions transferring in the players I've got. And yeah, I mean, people have had monster scores this game week, and fair play for those guys who brought in Kane. He's returned again, and going into the festive fixtures, like I've said before, and other people have said, Kane is probably the least likely to be rotated. And Son is a great asset if you own him. Why not double up on Spurs? I mean, they seem to be doing really well at the moment. They're flying high. The morale is high. So yeah, that's my team. So far, 57 points, but with the 3 coming off the bench, so 60 points.
Oh, and one minute, we forgot. You've been knocked out the cup, I believe, as well.
Oh yes. So yeah, should we talk about my cup opponent? So my
we will talk. Yeah,
my cup opponent got 90 points this game week. He did a minus 16. All right, so he got 74 points, and he beat me, and he's currently sitting at 5.6 million in the world. 5.6 million, and I got absolutely owned in the cup by him. So good one, Mr. Banner, who hails from where is that? I don't even know what flag that is, to be honest with you. Is it? I have no idea. So well done to him, Mr. Banner, who probably isn't watching the podcast. But yeah, that's me anyway. So then we got Darren Monday in second place. In fact, we'll just briefly scan over
Darren
those.
Monday,
Yeah, so we got he's got 43 points. He's got a -4 though, and he is
minus 5 really with Keane.
Oh yeah, -5. Yeah, so he's got 39 points. No one coming in off the bench. He's had a real dreadful game week. So that does make me feel a little bit better that second place. And
he was with his transfers, because this is what I like looking at, people's transfers to see if it worked out or not.
Yeah.
He took a -4. He got rid of Sterling, Richarlison and Aubameyang, and he brought him Hazard, Salah and Ings. He lost out by 1 point, would you believe? So if he'd have just kept as it was, he would have been up by...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
on to Ben Towler.
Ben Towler is now second in the league. He's on a massive 79 points. I don't think he's got anyone coming off the bench. He doesn't have anyone coming off the bench. He captained Aubameyang, got 26 points from Aubameyang. He had Son, he had KANE in. I had Robertson, all returning points. So yeah, overall, really great game week for him. He's going to be, like I said, second.
And again, Jason, another one that failed with his transfers, got rid of Sane and Richarlison, brought in Pedro and Hazard, overall a -3 on that. Could have been even worse.
Could have been. So yeah, welcome to second place, Ben Towler. Terry Roos dropping down to 4th so far. He's had a very, very bad game week. He's on 36 points. He had no Son, no Kane, no Salah in his team. He stuck with the Hazard. He did have Martial though, who returned him some points. He had Keane in with the -1. But yeah, Aubameyang, captain option, chose Hazard over Aubameyang, and will probably drop now to out of the top 4 as a result. Connor Lee.
Ben, just to say, Ben. Don't worry about Connor. He's not 4th. He's 5th.
No. I'm saying that Connor Lee will take his spot. So Connor Lee will jump.
Oh, really?
Connor Lee will be in 4th. He got 81 points. Connor Lee. So going down to Steve-O's team, 77 points. Now, last week, Steve-O, you were feeling quite dejected. And actually, in chat just a second ago, I just believe I read that Vince Chapman said, Steve-O, you were going to quit fantasy football until the Spurs game. So, yeah. So how do you feel prior to the Spurs game? How were you feeling with your game week?
When Cardiff had scored, and I saw the score at 3-1, and I was just like, the one game where I just expect United just to keep it tight, don't concede. They go and concede, and it just was just like, yeah, this is just my luck. Full stop. I bring in a transfer, and it's failed me. Vince, you're right. I looked at my team, and I was like, I've got Kane, Son and Richarlison up next. I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think Tottenham will win. It's going to be a really, really tight game. And then when I see what had happened, it's ridiculous. Could I be regretting the fact that I did the last minute captain change as well. Everybody, I took it off Kane, put it on Sterling. I put it on Instagram. I said I bottled it. I went with Sterling in the end. Have I regretted it? Do you know what? No, it's the simple answer. I haven't regretted it because there was logic to why I've done it. Moving forward, which we'll discuss in a minute.
I will say though, Steve-O, last week, when you had a real bad week last week, you did kind of suggest that, like, you know, the decisions were going against you. And I said to you, don't worry, because you'll have one bad game week and then next game week it'll just all be reversed and everyone, you know, you'll have an above average game week and I will fail. And look what's happened. You've really pulled back those points that you lost to me, and you're closing in. And the way it's going, less than 20 points now separate me.
I did a minus 12 in game week 16, and like I said with anybody, if you're going to do a minus hit, just do the logical thing and work out how many points you'd return. And I'm actually up by 17 points on the 4 transfers I did. So at the time, I got rid of Alonso, Salah, Arnautovic and Brooks. Now, they in total, including the minus 12, that was 73 points. I brought in, though, Aubameyang's son, Felipe Anderson and Kolasinac, and they brought me in a total of 90 points, and I'm up by 17 on that. And bizarrely, I actually got the Kolasinac returns bang on the money. Felipe Anderson, I actually got correct, barring 1 point. He's returned me 20 points, and I predicted 21. Son, I way outdid what I thought, and Aubameyang did a bit less than what I thought. So yeah, my transfers just seem to do okay. It's just, yeah, what can I say? Just Kane and Son have just completely saved everything I've done, and even the Kolasinac assist. And I heard that he played really well yesterday too, which is kind of giving me hope. So let's talk about the Elite FPL podcast.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. What are we on about? Hold on, mate. We got to talk about Dan.
Save the best till last, shall we, ladies and gentlemen?
Okay,
First of all, let's just explain. So normally there's 3 of us. For those who's tuning in for the first time, normally Dan's here, but he's not well today, so he's taken the podcast off. And Dan was sitting down in 10th, but he's going to be moving up to, I believe, 8th, I think, if my calculations are correct. He has got 106 points this game week. An absolute stormer of a game week. And last week he was feeling quite dejected. Last week he had 44 points. He did a -4. He was knocked out of the cup and he was thinking that the world of FPL was against him. This week he's clawed back lots of points, up to 50 points on rivals. He's clawed back, and absolute success. Captain Harry Kane, he had Son, he had Aubameyang, he had Brooks, everybody. Brooks, 15 points. You remember him, Steve-O? Brooks. Richarlison, 5 points. Kolasinac, 6 points. And the most flukiest, and I will say fluky because I don't think many people were expecting anything from him. The Leicester goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, with a 10-point haul. So 106 points. Well played to Dan there. Hopefully he's watching the podcast and he can be smirking away, because I would be, even down in 10th place. I'll be smirking. That's. You got anything to say on that, Steve-O? That massive. He didn't even do a transfer either. He saved a transfer. 106 points.
He openly admitted that he completely forgot about even fantasy football because he's that dejected. He just. His private life, basically, his social life.
He should forget more often.
Now, I could probably make a guess that he may have even got rid of Brooks, for all I know.
Yeah.
But I just find it absolutely extraordinary. 100. He's going to be up there in the top. I reckon in the top 100,000 of overall game week points, if not the top 50,000. He's going to have done really, really well.
It's a shame he's not here to gloat and I mean, on a week where I've done very, very poorly to his standard, and well done, Dan. I'm sure we'll talk about it next podcast. Onto the Elite FPL Podcast League. So
Jack Gleeson.
Yeah, Jack again.
I wonder why. 157th as of last night.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He's gonna go up again.
Kane and Richarlison in the points today. Begovic. I said this on the last podcast. For instance, I forget who it is. It's either Graham or Suman have got Jorginho in their team, but they must know something that we don't to have players like this. But he had Patricio and Begovic in his team, and I always think to myself, again, Jack, if you're in the chat, I'm sure you said you what. Explain. I'm sure you did the last time. I forget, but 157th in the world. You would have thought that someone like this would have just one starting keeper and put his money elsewhere, but no, he's got two starting goalkeepers. Pereira, they're the two standouts here are Begovic and Pereira to me, that he has in his team. But like you just alluded to, Aubameyang in the team, Kane, bench the -1 of Digne. So
he went with the Sterling captain as well.
Yes, and I think he is going through. No, he's out the cup.
Is he out of the cup? Really? Let's double check.
Let me think. Oh no, he's through by 1 point. I was right. Yeah,
he's through by one.
Here. Go on,
-8. Yeah, he took a -8. His rival did. So yeah, he's through comfortably through to the next round. So yeah, that's Jack and whopping 70 points. I mean, that's well above average for this game week, and he remains in first. Yeah.
For Graham Barker in second, as of what was last night, 48 points. This is the team Jorginho in.
Yes, it's it.
Hazard captain, big differential there. Didn't pay off, unfortunately. See there, the big points there with Kane and Salah. Again, and of course Robertson, he must have been loving life on Friday evening, clapping with hands with glee. Look at that.
18 points return on Friday night, and then only gets 30 more from the remaining 9 players. It's just, with his captain to play, so technically you got 30 points from 10 more players. And, same as me, on cloud 9 Friday night, thinking was going to go into a great weekend, and the 5-3-2 just didn't work out for him. And with Laporte, Zabaleta, Doherty all returning the 1 point, Alonso, Fabianski. A question, guys, in chat: what are you doing if you still own Alonso? Are you keeping Alonso in your team? Is he worth that money? Are you looking to downgrade him for someone else and upgrade elsewhere? That's a real interesting issue, because I think Alonso's going to see a lot of Salahs this week. But yeah, 5-3-2, really interesting decision.
That's the point. Why would you play Richarlison? Why would you play Jorginho ahead of Richarlison? Even Doherty against Salah or Robert, you know what I mean? Or Zabaleta, Jorginho, Doherty. I would not have played ahead of Richarlison. I know Richarlison's record against the top teams isn't particularly great, but I would have bet more money on Richarlison.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he could, if he's in the chat, Graham. Let us know what your thinking is behind Jorginho, because me and Steve-O just trying to get heads around it. Whether you're not on a higher FPL level of existence, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, Richarlison sitting on your bench there with 5 points, not going to be coming on for you. You must be a little bit frustrated about that. So we'll go down to Suman, who's in chat. Third spot, Suman Gutam in chat. 47 points. He had Lewis Dunk in his team, who got sent off against Bournemouth, and -2 straight away. You got Davis and Doherty. Unlucky with Davis, to be fair. Doherty and Fabianski not returning. Midfielders, he had Pereira again, another player with Pereira in. A captain of Sterling seems to be a common theme at the moment. I think majority of people did, and yeah, must be quite disappointing for Suman. How are you feeling in chat? How are you feeling, Suman? Because it's you're going to probably drop down now a few places in the FPL, the elite FPL mini league. Be interesting to hear your point of view.
Talking of the chat, Jason, what are the guys saying in there? Any talking points to bring up?
Yeah, so Alonso hit the bar again, Dejan Checo says, and Leslie says keep Alonso until he gets dropped for Emerson. Now, he's a lot of money to have, and if you got him, then I can see that you may have other fires to put out before Alonso. But I was just wondering if those of you may have a transfer spare, or maybe even 2 transfers. Is Alonso in your sights to be removed? I'd rather have David Luiz, Amandilin said. He's hit the post twice in 2 weeks, but Evan, his attacking stats, his box touches, he's playing a lot further back than in the first half of the season. Is he not a concern for you going forward? John McEwen says keep Alonso. Evan Chowdhury says keep Alonso. It seems that there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love for Alonso in chat. So okay, maybe I'm not doing it right then.
Yeah,
removing him.
A player that's returned 12. I think it was 14 points I just read just now. But upcoming fixtures: Watford away, Crystal Palace away, Southampton at home, Newcastle at home. I think for now, like you just said, I think keep for now. I think there are probably more important fires, as you said, to put out in people's teams rather than Alonso. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot of money for the return. It's a bit like Kane, a bit like Salah. A lot of money to be putting into a player to only be returning a certain amount of points.
To be fair to Salah, though, he started to turn up the heat now, and I think that people are starting to be scared of not owning him now. I genuinely think that Salah's going to go on an absolute purple patch and score loads over the Christmas period. Alonso is Chelsea, 7 million with midfielder with a bonus for clean sheet. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see you thinking in that. I just seemed it was a bit too much to have in defence over other options like Lucas Digne, for example. Who incidentally got -1. Any reason why Lingard took the penalty? I believe, watching the game. Yeah, I believe he claimed, he basically stated that he wanted it, and Pogba was okay with it. So yeah, could he be the penalty taker? You passed me again, Jason. Paul Wickett says. Oh, Paul, let's have a quick look at your team, Paul. Quickly have a look at your team. Have I passed you again? Where am I? I'm up to 4th, but Paul's on 74 points. You're going to be overtaking me again, I think. 74 points. So 70 points with Bennett coming on for 1 point. Yeah, that's a good week, actually. 74 points. That's pretty decent. Looks like you'll be overlapping me again, Paul. So I was only ahead of you for a few hours, it seems. Alonso to Luke Shaw could be an option, man. It could be an option. Shaw, Young next few game weeks. I mean, again, I wouldn't personally go for United defenders. I still think we're quite weak at the back, but I certainly would be looking at bringing in United attackers. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already stated that this is the period for rotation. He expects to rotate players, and there could be some upsets for player selection on the cards. I think if you decided to play Sanchez, I don't know, Mata, and Herrera or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's there's definite mileage in bringing in one of Martial or Lingard or Rashford, definitely.
Talking of these Manchester United midfielders, as a United fan, Martial, Pogba, Lingard.
So Pogba I haven't mentioned, and I think it's probably I'm a little cautious I'm a bit cautious on Pogba because I know the whole Mourinho factor has been quite negative, but it's still a wait and see for me. He played brilliantly today out of his skin, but then so did the rest of United's midfield. In fact, the majority of United players played well, and I would say that Pogba is probably behind Lingard for me in terms of attacking threat and value. But he's a playmaker. He gets involved outside the box.
Lingard is most in form at the moment. Last 4 starts, he's got 4 goals and 1 assist. the last 4. He's certainly somebody that I'm looking at. It's either him, Martial, or Rashford to be brought in for Wolverhampton. Do you think Rashford's a guaranteed starter with Lukaku? Well,
I would say so. I would say that Rashford is pretty much nailed for at least for the next couple of game weeks. After that, I would expect rotation to come in, but it all depends on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether Sanchez is going to be in contention. I would say that for the money, having Rashford, you can't go wrong in a United team now who seems to have been unshackled and told to just attack. And I just hope that this is something which is going to cause a lot of headaches for managers, because we've not had any United options this season because everyone's steered clear of United, and rightly so. They've been playing negative football, and this second half of the season, United assets, premium, you could get high quality United assets for a very mid to high price, 7 million plus. It's crazy. Sanchez ruled out till 13th of Jan, so Martial looks nailed. Oh, is he? Sanchez is apparently is he actually ruled out? Okay. Okay, my mistake then. So Sanchez is ruled out. So yeah, Martial does look nailed in that case. Notorious Nerd, you tried to say something. What did you try to say?
I mean, like I said, for me, I think the talking point coming out of this game week, from an FPL perspective, is the Manchester United assets. And so, in your opinion, you think that Martial, Lingard, and Rashford, if anybody was to buy them, for example, myself, you can't go wrong. Is that what you're saying?
For the fixtures, I mean, you would imagine you got Huddersfield coming up next at home. You got who've not looked great in defence, and for owner of Lindelof, you must be confident going into that game. You've got Bournemouth. Absolutely. You've got Bournemouth at home after that. Bournemouth are leaking goals. You got Newcastle away after that. They're not exactly the most solid at the back. I mean, I think that these games are prime for the taking. Prime for the taking.
Hello.
You won't believe what I'm dealing with.
Any more conversation in the chat, Jace?
Yeah, I just had to mute Discord. I forgot to mute it. So in chat we have got Vince Chapman says, I have Rashford, I can't wait. Calvert-Lewin, anybody? Not for me. Not just yet. No, I think not for me, no. Ings is Jimenez 2.0. Danny Ings, absolutely. He's looking like a phenomenon. He looks like a new player for Southampton. I do think Jimenez is a great option, though, going into January. I would prefer Jimenez over Ings myself. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed on the last podcast, is if you were going to get him in, it would have been for this game week and the next game week. The next game he's got, I believe, as it comes up now, West Ham at home. So you can see him potentially scoring that. But then I said it in the last one, he's got Man City at home, which he did actually score against when they lost 6-1. Chelsea away. And then it's just some kind fixtures after that. I would personally go with, if you're going to be bringing in one of them now, I'd be bringing in Jimenez.
Okay.
Because I believe their fixtures, looking at now, once it loads up, so they got Fulham away. Let's be honest here, barring that one clean sheet yesterday, I would like to think that Jimenez would get in the goals. Then it's Spurs away. Well, we all know what happened last time, where it was 3-2 to Spurs. Could be that kind of game again. Yeah, I think Jimenez over Ings, absolutely, certainly.
So guys, very quickly, if you're tuning into the podcast for the first time, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It really does help us when we're looking to grow the channel. And we have a lot of people that watch the podcast who actually don't subscribe to the channel. So hit that bell button as well. Get notified when we go live. Join in the discussion as well. If you've got any questions, any debate topics you want to bring up, feel free. Yes, Steve-O.
I'm going to say, how are you feeling moving forward?
Right.
For Boxing Day.
Right. So I am willing to literally divulge that I have made 3 transfers. And I want you to guess.
Is that -8?
I want you to guess. You guys can see. You guys can see in chat what transfers I've made. All right. I want Steve-O to guess which 3 players. It's 2 midfielders and a striker. If you can get 2 of the 3, I'll tell you automatically who the third one is.
Let me pick up the team, of course. Why would I click the wrong button there? So if I just bring up your team now, I'll be able to look at who you've got. So just to clarify, you've got rid of 2 midfielders and a defender, you said?
I have 2 midfielders and a striker.
Right, so me personally, I think you've got rid of Sane. I think Wilson. No, Sane. Yeah, Sane, Chicharito, and 2 midfielders. Can't believe you would have got rid of Snodgrass. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of him. Sane, Chicharito, and, well, the Son. The only one I can imagine. And then you would have brought in someone. It would have been
right. So you've got 2 of the 3 right. So I'm going to tell you the third one is. I have got rid of Snodgrass.
What?
I've got rid of Snodgrass.
What?
Yeah, I've got rid of Snodgrass, and I brought in Richarlison. I brought in Richarlison for Snodgrass.
Yeah.
I brought in Martial for Sane.
Right.
And I brought in Rashford for Wilson.
Wilson.
So I've got.
I would have kept Wilson ahead of Chicharito.
I don't like Wilson's fixtures compared to Chicharito's, and Chicharito as it stands is bench fodder for me. I would much rather Chicharito on the bench than Wilson, money wise.
So clarify those transfers again.
So I brought in Rashford. I took out Wilson.
Yeah, good move.
Sane played the full game. I'm doubtful he's going to play many minutes midweek. You watch. It's going to all backfire on me. Martial for Sane and Richarlison for Snodgrass. So those are my moves, guys. What do you think of my moves in chat? So Vince Chapman says, sexy looking team, Jason. Martial and Rashford, Jan Seko. Felipe Anderson out for Martial. Just took Laporte out for Van Dijk. So similar to me, Kieran. Instead of Felipe, I took out Snodgrass for Martial.
Laporte out for Van Dijk. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Laporte
nice.
out for Van Dijk.
Nice.
Yes. A cracking score, didn't he? Dylan, nice transfers. See, the chat seemed to be positive to my transfers, and I think going forward, I can be extra happy watching United play now, because do you know how hard it is as a United fan? I love United so much, and I was so happy in that game when we won 5-1, but I was so sad that I didn't own any United assets, and I know there's a logic to it. I know, but we were talking about it, weren't we, last week when we were saying about Solskjaer being appointed? We actually were discussing United assets going into this game week, and I said I'm going to use this game week as a wait and see. I'm going to see what happens this game week before making a move, and I've seen and I've liked, and I'm going in, lads. 2 out of 2 United assets straight in my team. Rashford and Martial. You watch them get rested now.
That's a -8, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll make that up?
Over the next 4 game weeks? I'm confident.
No, it'll be the next 2. It'll be the next 2 game weeks, because it's not a 12-pointer, is it? I would say over the next 2. So this game week and the next one.
Yeah, I do think I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, we can write that down. We'll write that down, and if we don't, then I'm sure you'll remind me. But I do feel like it was a do or die. I just had enough money as well, and the price rises. I think Rashford and Martial are going to go up in price this evening, so I had to do the moves today. Otherwise, I would have been priced out to do them. So I've done them.
I think the Wilson transfer to Rashford, I think In fact, I may even do it live now. I think that's a really good move.
Look at Wilson's
because
fixtures. They're not kind. They're not kind.
He hasn't been doing much recently. He's not really been performing since. I don't know if it's since his injury that he's had. Is it all this Chelsea talk that he's had? But in the last 3, okay, barring. So looking here, in the last 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the last 8 fixtures, okay, he has scored only twice. He got 1 assist. But since, barring that, he's got 2-1-0, 2-2. His returns haven't been that great recently. Rashford, on the other hand, is going to be playing for a team which is, as you stated, already up in confidence. His form at the moment is actually really pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Lingard. I mean, Lingard's another one that I'm potentially looking at. He's only 6.7. And ironically, I was thinking of getting rid of Richarlison, but after today, I don't think I'll be doing that. But yeah.
He's got an excellent fixture ahead. Got Burnley away next. I think there's goals in that game for Everton. And Digne, Richarlison, I'm happy going into that game. In fact, looking at my team, I know I keep saying it, but I'm absolutely really happy with my team into that game week, and it might set up the Aubameyang to Aguero transfer after that.
You have any money in the bank?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I had to make the decision to get them in because I used all my money to do those transfers. That's the reason why I did them this evening, because I wouldn't have been able to afford the moves because of the price rises.
Well, do you know what? I've just made the Wilson to Rashford move, and I'm about to hit the make transfers. Done now, and I'm going to do it. I've done that live.
Is that just the one transfer you've done?
I'm doing the one transfer.
Yeah.
Wilson away at Tottenham. Nothing there.
No.
Watch him now go and get a goal or whatever. But he's also, I believe, they haven't got a great picture. No, then he's away at Man United on the Sunday the 30th of December in game week 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with that move, and I'll be able to play a 3-4-3. Although I've got a bit of a benching headache at the moment looking at my team. At the moment, it stands 4-4-2, but obviously I'd put in Rashford probably in for Bennett. Yeah, Bennett away at Fulham. So we'll do that now. So I've got a 4-3-3. I'm stating the obvious, but yeah, Robertson, Lindelof, Kolasinac, my back 3. Richarlison, Anderson, Son and Sterling, and then Kane, Aubameyang, and Rashford up front. You know what? So you've already picked your team. Who's your captain at the moment, Jason?
Oh, it's on Salah at the moment.
Right, okay. So then Newcastle at home. You're not concerned about Kane captain that I've got right now? I'm on Kane captain.
Yeah. I'm not concerned. I'm just hoping that my team can equal or outscore the warrior of Harry Kane. I have got Son in my team still, and he's looked better than Kane in recent weeks, in my opinion. After having watched the games, Kane just seems to be very much in the right place at the right time, but Son is looking much more livelier, making the runs in behind. Beating the offside trap. To me, Son is, dare I say it, the better asset to own. What? And that's not just based on this game week. That's the last few game weeks.
No.
Dan's in chat. Hello, lads. Not a bad game week. No, 106 points. Congratulations. We just talked about your team. Ian Darlington says that's the worst Saturday ever. My son and Harry saved my bacon. Absolutely. I think a lot of people have had their game week saved by Son and Harry. Leslie Chow says going to need double City mids for future game weeks though. Possibly, but you can't own everybody, and I've been stung by both Sterling and Sane 2 game weeks out of 3 now. So I just thought it would be time to shake things up. Ian Darlington's in chat, says, hi all, can't stay long. Daughter's in a panto. Wife doesn't like me FPLing on a Sunday. Well, congratulations in going to your daughter's panto. I hope it goes well, and don't have too many. What's the warm wine? What's it called?
Mulled wine, isn't it?
Mulled wine. That's it. Don't drink too much warm mulled wine. We got Steve-O. Have you thought about captaining Son?
I was thinking of doing him against. Oh goodness me! Sorry about this. It was a recent double point he got, and it was against Leicester. I was genuinely considering it.
Oh,
I
really?
thought I'd it and
You'd have got good returns. Got a goal and an assist in that game.
That's correct. Yeah, and I considered it, but I didn't do it. Again, I know people may mock it, but I do look at a lot of the history, and I do take it really, really seriously, and it does help me quite a lot with captaincy picks. And sometimes what FPL does is that, as we all know, we're all sheep in this game. I had Harry Kane captain all week, and all you're doing is seeing you got to be mad to be captaining Kane. He's rubbish. He's the worst player in the world. Captain Sterling. And we all saw what happened. Okay, we don't know predictability of the results. Okay, barring the Man City results, okay, the history come up pretty well this week. So certainly regarding captaincy options, Harry Kane that's now 4 games out of 4 that he scored 2 goals against Everton. It's there in black and white, right there. I had it. I was a captain. Did I listen to my own advice? No. And this is what a lot of people say about FPL: is don't cheat. Follow your own gut instinct. Yeah. And funny enough, you watch these particular shows regarding why these players do so well and everything. A lot of the time they say, I don't follow the crowd. I stick to what I've done. And guess what? Because it's no coincidence that the first couple of seasons that I did fantasy football, I seem to have done really, really well. I'm not suggesting I've done appallingly since, but a lot of that time was based on my own gut instincts. But the more and more information, Dan keeps banging about this all the time, which is the more information we get, the more confusing the game becomes. Just go with, well, in my case, I should just stick with what I know myself, do the research that I always do to help me, and just stick with it. And this week, I just didn't, because I was just so scared that these so-called experts knew what they were talking about. Captain Sterling, and, well, again, it's a freak result.
It's logical. It was a logical captain choice, and a lot of people. So yeah, we're back live now. We're back live again. So yeah, I had a quick dip in connection there, guys. Sorry about that. But yes, I was saying Man City.
Any final?
Big surprise, but we're going to.
Any final thoughts?
Say again. Final thoughts in chat.
I was going to say. Here we go. No, he's gone down the pack. I was just going to say, any more final thoughts in the chat before we head off to bed?
Yeah. So Ian's just letting us know that his daughter's playing Robin Hood in a panto. So awesome. More exciting than my game week in fantasy football. Shows how essential Fernandinho is to Pep. I mean, yeah, he is a starter, but he's also getting those assists, isn't he? Awkward silence. Well done this week. Well done this week, Steve-O. Ian Darlington. Right, guys, we're gonna probably end it there. Just want to say that 40 viewers, absolutely amazing. Amazing amount of viewers.
Really?
Yeah. We were over 40 at one point. So if you haven't hit that, hit that subscribe button, guys. We'll be back. Hopefully with Dan. Come next game week, we'll work between us what day. It's going to probably be Boxing Day, isn't it, Steve-O?
Yeah, we're planning on doing a Boxing Day special. We don't know when we're going to be recording it. We're just having some ideas when we'll be doing this, but I think we're planning on doing it approximately 5 o'clock on Boxing Day, give or take.
Approximately, but we'll have a talk about it, and we'll schedule the stream on our YouTube, guys. We'll also tweet it and Instagram it. It's mainly Instagram we're active on. We are trying to get better on the other social media platforms. But yes, everyone in chat, Merry Christmas, because this will be the last time we see you before Christmas. So for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to everyone else. I hope you have a lot of good presents and don't drink too much and behave yourselves, and don't forget to set your team up for the next game week. And we'll look forward to talking about it on Boxing Day. So, anything else to say, Steve-O? Or are we going to just fade away? And
No, I think that, like you said, happy Christmas, everybody, and we will see you on Boxing Day.
Take care. Bye.